Hi, welcome to Know the Score. It's Wednesday. It's another edition of Know the Score. I have the opportunity today of being in front of the camera. Patricia Maldonado, who is another volunteer with SCORE, is behind the camera, and we have Alex Easedale today to interview regarding fundraising and grant writing for nonprofit. Did I pronounce your name correctly, or
Easedale, but
Easedale.
Close enough.
Easedale,
it's a
Alex Easedale.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us about your background, Alex, and
Sure.
what you cover in your workshops.
Absolutely. So my background is in higher education. I've done a lot of work with nonprofits, with corporations as well. Even worked with the government. I'm from Argentina originally, worked with the Argentine government at one point in time. But my background in fundraising started with an organization called Hispanics in Philanthropy, and worked with them for 5 years, did a lot of program design work and fundraising, and then worked with National Council La Raza as well, and worked, a lot of fundraising with them, and then independently as a consultant. Currently have I'm the managing director of a consulting firm called Forging Alliances, and we work with small businesses and nonprofits around strategic planning and fundraising. So the reason I became involved with SCORE is because I actually went to a SCORE workshop about 2 years ago, and met one of the volunteers there, and they asked me if I would be interested in presenting on grant writing and fundraising, and I said sure. And been doing it ever since, and it's been a lot of fun.
Wow. How often do you give your workshops?
Every 6 weeks. So I gave one early August, I believe it was August 9th, and I'm going to give another one on September 6th on grant writing.
And tell us the types of students that come. You were telling me that often it's either people who are wanting to start a nonprofit or have just started one and know that they need to know everything they can about grants and fundraising.
Right. The target population for these workshops, and fundraising basics is the first one, and the other one is beginning grant writing, is for smaller nonprofits and people who are interested in starting a nonprofit. I think it's a very good first step to see what fundraising entails. And I weave into the workshop some leadership elements and board development and different things also that would enhance your fundraising.
Mm-hmm. And so even people in the class can help one another get to.
Absolutely. And my workshops, the format is I present, I go through a PowerPoint, and it's very interactive from the beginning, and I tell them that. So then once they're kind of warming up, then I have them do, for the grant writing, I have them do a little one-page document, and then they kind of share it with each other. And with a fundraising workshop, I have them do a fundraising ask, and then I ask them to ask each other and put them on the spot a little bit, so they get a real idea what it's like to do some individual donor fundraising and also to raise money from institutions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've been involved in the nonprofit arena, and I think that fundraising ask is very difficult for a lot of people. What do you recommend people do?
I recommend people, the first thing that I recommend is that you write a script. Like with anything else, you write a script and then internalize that script to where you don't sound scripted, if that makes any sense. And we practice
practice.
And to get coaching from people who know what they're doing. I've been doing fundraising for over a decade, and I do, for clients sometimes, make asks, or as a volunteer as well, and it's still nerve-wracking for me sometimes. Mm-hmm. But one key element is when you make the ask, once you've made the ask, to stop and just pause and let the other person respond. Because if you keep talking, because you're going to be nervous, then you kind of let the person off the hook. Mm-hmm. So give them a chance to say yes or no.
Well, I think it has its, in sales, where the salesperson never asks for the sale. I mean, you have to make the ask. That's the reason you're there, is to make the ask.
You have to make the ask, and it varies on who you're talking to. If it's somebody who's close to you, then get to the point, tell them, look, this is about business, this is, I don't have a lot of time, and you just kind of go through your script or the main elements and then make an ask. And then there's a little more formal ask with somebody who you're not very close to. And then there's different levels, a lower dollar ask versus a high dollar ask, and how you go about doing all of that.
Yeah. And I would assume you do as much research as possible on the person before you meet them, so that you know that this is an appropriate ask for them.
Absolutely. That's the list building component of the fundraising, where you kind of have an idea. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you might be wrong. Sometimes you assume somebody might not have a lot of money and they do, and vice versa, but usually that process is very, very important. And not only with individuals, but also with foundations and corporations, if you want to do those kind of asks.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's wonderful. Anything else you want to give people who are in the nonprofit arena? Any other tip that you would like to give them?
The tip when it comes to the people who want to start a nonprofit is, if you want to do something, you're passionate about it, then do it. Okay, the resources are out there. Your belief and your passion is going to get you through, and there are resources out there at very low cost or even free that can help you, do a strategy, goal setting, build your list and have a successful fundraising campaign.
Great. And if someone wanted to get in touch with you, Alex, how would you recommend they do that?
They can go to my website, www.forgingalliancesconsulting.com, or email me at alex@forgingalliancesconsulting.com. I know it's long. And my phone number, my business number is 954-673-7002.
And if you'd like to learn when Alex's next workshops are up, go to www.broward.score.org and look on workshops and schedule one of his workshops in the future. Thanks so much.
Thank you.